Hello everyone, welcome to Vaishai's YouTube channel and to the series of ethics. We are in the episode 8 of ethics series. So before starting today's lecture, just I'll give a small announcement. The series which are going on in the YouTube channel of Vaishai is for free are actually the part of the paid courses of Vaishai is. So we are considering it to put even in the YouTube channel, but if you're not giving the proper feedback in the YouTube channel, then we'll all obviously convert into the paid course itself. So give the proper feedback, subscribe to the channel and like the videos which we upload daily for you people. So I hope so you will give us a like for our hard work, and let's start the video. So one more thing I want to stress is, if you have not seen the other 7 videos or the other 7 episodes of ethics, go to the playlist of Aisha IAS and watch them, then come to this video so that you will understand and it will go in a flow. In the last class, we have completed the till Kantian philosophy. Today, we are going to start the new approach of theories, that is the teleological approach. So, initially, we will learn what is meant by teleology. So, teleology, if you break the word teleology, teleo plus logy. Teleo means nothing but ends, and logy is nothing but study. So, study of ends is nothing but teleology. So, when you are studying the ends of a human action, then it is called as teleology. So, as these people who are being the part of the teleology, they are studying the ends. The ends are nothing but consequences. So, the one who is studying the consequences in order to decide the human action is right or wrong, then they are called as consequentialist. Okay. According to a consequentialist, action is considered right or wrong on the basis of the outcome of the action. So, well, they will decide the action whether it is belonging to the ethical conduct or not, basing on the outcome of the human action. So, if generally if outcome is right, then action is also treated to be right, and if outcome is wrong, action is also be considered as a wrong action or a unethical action. And one of the prominent approach in the teleological approach is the utilitarian approach. Okay. uh, it is a part of the teleological approach, and this utilitarian approach is based on the utility of the human action. Okay. Based on the utility of the human action, based on the utility which is derived from the consequences of the human action, we will decide, or the theorists present in it will decide, whether the human action is right or wrong. Okay. In this, there are two primary people. They are the Jeremy Bentham and the J.S. Mills. These two have proposed this utilitarian approach. They have strived for individuals should act in order to maximize their utility. They are saying individuals action should be in such a way that the consequence of the action should maximize the utility, and it should benefit large number of people, and utility should be based on the self interest or the pleasure and pain principles. They are saying that the utility of the human action will be based on the self interest. One will perform the action in order to increase their pleasure based on the self interest. So, pleasure pain principle is nothing but the action which you are performing should be having the consequence with pleasure more than the pain. Okay, then it is called as the ethical action. Self interest is for survival or preservation of self. So we are taking the actions, we are performing the actions based on the self interest, because in order to preserve the self. So self interest is the golden rule of the utilitarian philosophy. Example, when you want to become a civil servant, if you are a civil services aspirant, you will study hard in order to become a civil servant, because you want to serve the people. This is one of the reason, but another reason will be obviously your self interest. You want some power in the society, you want job security, you want some status in the society. That is the reason. That is also a reason why you want to become a civil servant. So your self interest is also something which is causing you to choose this career of civil servant. Okay. That's why preservation of self is the golden rule of the utilitarian philosophy. He says, or these people says that the main aim of the human life is maximizing the pleasure and minimizing the pain. Obviously, when we are working hard, when we are doing some job, when we are performing some action, we are performing it because we want to increase the pleasure in our life and decrease the pain which is caused because of some actions in the life. Pleasure means any activities that gives you happiness. Yes, which gives you happiness will give you the pleasure, which gives you sadness will give you the pain. So they are saying the pleasure should be greater than pain. This is the ultimate aim of the human life. So action should be in such a way that pleasure should be more than the pain. So, what are the inferences of the utilitarian philosophy? So, they are the individual centric because they are seeking for the pleasure of the individual's action more than the pain. That is the pleasure and the pain principle. The second one is they are seeking for the liberty or freedom of the choice for each individual present in the society. So, we can say that they belong to the liberal school or the liberal democracy. The third one is what is good for individuals is good for the society according to the Bentham. They are saying that the greatest good to the greatest number of people. When you are performing some action, it should be in such a way that the consequence of the human action should benefit large number of people along with you. They are saying it should benefit the large number of people. They are saying some society should not interfere, the state should not interfere into the individual human action unless the individual human action harms the society. So the individual human action should be in such a way that it should create greatest good to the greatest number of people. If the human action has more pleasure than pain, then it is based on the self-interest. So it is ethical according to the utilitarian philosophy. As I have already told you, if pleasure is more than the pain, we are choosing the action in such a way that the consequences of action should be more be strived towards the pleasure than the pain, then it will be based on the action which you are performing should be based on the self-interest. So when it is pleasure is more than the pain, then it will be ethical. The action which you are performing is said to be ethical in nature. Example, I have told you, joining the civil services. This principle is actually, the pleasure pain principle is actually followed in the Western society, but it is mostly not applicable in the Indian society context, because Indian society is mainly striving for the collectivism. Nowadays we are being individualistic, but in the rural areas, even in the urban areas, we are striving for the collectivism. So and in India there are status and individual see foundation by the parents, and there are some things like caste, religion, which will make the individualism backward in the Indian society. So application of the pleasure and pain principle and the utilitarian philosophy based on the liberty and freedom is mostly difficult in the Indian context because of its some prejudices, stereotypes and collectivism nature. They say that the society should not involve in the individual action unless they bring any harm. So it is linked with the liberal democracy, and the one who belongs to this school are called as liberal democrats. This philosophy is also making individuals achievement oriented, adventurous and risk taking. Obviously, when you are having the liberty and freedom to perform your action in order to increase the pleasure, you will obviously choose a path which is achievement oriented. You will aim for a big thing which will benefit the large number of people. In achieving this big aim, you will be following a adventurous path which is very risking in nature. So nowadays many people are choosing the different lifestyle by risk taking in order to increase their pleasure in the society. Now let's learn the difference between the Bentham and the J.S. Mill. So Bentham, he speaks about the individual's utilitarian concept, and Mills speaks about the society's utilitarian concept. So Bentham is saying that what is good for the individuals is good for the society, whereas Mill is saying pleasure should be based on what is good for society is good for individual. So they are quite opposite. He is more focusing on society, he is more focusing on the individual. So both are utilitarian philosophies, but Bentham is more concentrating on the individual. That's why his philosophy is based on the ethical egoism, and Mills is more focusing on the society's good. So his philosophy can be called as the ethical altruism. He said the individual action should not harm the human society. So as he's thinking about the society, then his philosophy can be traced as social utilitarianism. Now let's learn some applications of the utilitarian philosophy. So initially at the individual level, individuals should be allowed to live life of their choice and have liberty according to them. So when the liberty is increased, innovations will increase in the society, new things will be invented, people will be experiencing the new situations, and when state has very less role in regulating of the affairs of the people, then obviously independent nature of the people will increase. They won't be dependent on anyone, and individual behavior will also be protected because of the liberty and freedom which they get in the society. Now let's learn the applications of the utilitarianism in the society's context. Society should be actually based on the principle of the greatest good to the greatest number of people, and individual action will be in such a way that they create the greatest good, that so that it will benefit the society. Benefit should always be greater than the cost. So cost and benefit ratio should be treated or considered when you're performing some action. For example, when the medicines are manufactured, we know that by taking medicine some side effects will be there, but these side effects are less than the curing of some disease. So medicines can be manufactured because they are creating the greatest good to greatest number of people in spite of having some side effects. People will have many choices, but the choice which benefits more number of people should be chosen. Actually, when you are performing some action, you will have many choices in front of you, but you have to choose such a choice. You have to take a decision by choosing such a choice that it will benefit the large number of people in the society. Now let's see the applications of the utilitarian concept in the government context. So as these people belong into the liberal school, they will aim for the liberal democratic state. Okay, now the many states in India, in America, in many states elections are conducted, which is based on the principle of democracy. So they have proposed this liberal democratic state concept. State should aim for minimizing the pain and maximizing the pleasure. So state should be in such a way that the policies they frame, the decisions they take actually should be based on the greatest good to greatest number of people. So it will benefit the large number of society, and it will lead to the pleasure, increase in the pleasure in the society, or the people in the society, which will bring the happiness in the society. So this is in the government context. So before ending the video, I'll just repeat what I have told in today's class. So I have started with the teleological approach. I have given a definition of teleological and little introduction about the teleological approach. Then we have started the utilitarian approach today. Then I have given a small introduction about utilitarian, and I have given some inference and the difference between the Bentham and J.S. Mill's philosophy and some applications in the individual context, in the societal context, and in the government context. That is it for today's video. I hope so you enjoyed the video. In the next class, that is in the episode 9 of ethics, we will be learning more about the utilitarian philosophy. We'll be learning some criticisms, and we'll also be learning about the liberal democracy in much more detail. And before ending the video, I will remind you again to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and comment with your feedback in the comment section, so that we'll be much happier and you will also get benefited of this video. And that is it for today's video, and I hope so you enjoyed it. Let's meet with another episode in the next class. Until then, take care. Bye bye.